What's up, y'all? Good morning or afternoon, wherever you are. Um, it's so good to see you guys again. It's been a while. I obviously did a couple weeks of videos where I was pregnant, and now I've been on a hiatus for, golly, 8 weeks at this point, 9 weeks. And I mean, I'm sure you guys can guess why, but we had a baby. So, this is Henry. Let me grab him for you guys. Oh, I know. This is our son, Henry. Henry Gene Wayne. Of course, I think he's, of course, the cutest thing ever. Piper's here too, don't worry. She's right here, being a good little girl. Um, so it's been a while because obviously newborns are a lot of work. And so it's just taken some time to kind of get into a groove where I was like, oh, I can actually make a video. He's obviously taking a nap right now, but I can get ready. We don't go out of the house unless it's for a doctor's appointment. And so I usually, I'm just in pajamas all day and hanging out with my little buddy. So I was actually getting ready to film my 39-week video. I had seen my doctor, that Thursday of my 39th week. It was Friday when I was getting ready to film, and my water broke. So I did not film a 39-week video. And luckily, I was really kind of nervous that my water was going to break when I was like sitting on the couch or on the carpet somewhere or out in public, because I was like, how do you like, that's kind of embarrassing, number one, if you're out in public, but I'm thinking, like, if you're sitting on upholstery, how do you clean that after your water breaks on it? Anyways, I was in the bathroom getting ready for the video, and that's where my water broke. So I didn't have to worry about that, which was nice. And it didn't gush out or anything like that. Not to be gross to anybody, but it was definitely a slow leak, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that was my water breaking. So let me just sit down real quick on the toilet, just in case. So that was Friday night. My doctor's office had just closed because it was late afternoon. So I called the hospital, and because my water had broken, they wanted me to come in pretty quickly. So my water had broken, but I wasn't feeling any contractions. And so they were like, obviously with water breaking, there's risk for infection. So they just wanted us to come in sooner rather than later. So called Jerone, got our stuff, and we went into into the hospital, I should say. And I'll try to film a labor and delivery story, or our labor and delivery story, in another video, and maybe Jerome can join me for that one because he might have more details than I do. So went in Friday night, and then this little bugger, he was born at 10:59 a.m. on Saturday, October 17th, after just over 30 minutes of pushing. And it was a smooth labor and delivery, I would say. He had elevated bilirubin levels, and I had elevated blood pressure. So they would have discharged us on that Sunday the next day, but they had to stay until Monday just because they wanted to watch and make sure everything was good for the two of us, which I appreciated, of course. And there's a pandemic. We didn't have anything else to go home to besides Piper, who moved. And so anyways, so we went home on Monday, and it's been pretty good. It hasn't been too awful. The first 2 weeks were a little rough. He's newborn, so he was up a lot during the night. We had to kind of figure out night and day. But then also at his 2-week appointment, we found out that he wasn't gaining any weight. So he had obviously dropped from his 8 pounds 4 ounces when he was born. Sorry, and I don't know if I said that. So he was born at 10:59 a.m. He was 8 pounds 4 ounces and 22 inches long. I was extremely shocked he was only 8 pounds 4 ounces because if you know my family, we have big babies, and so I was fully expecting him to be at least 9 pounds, if not more. And so when they put him on my chest, I was like, he seems kind of small. Like, he was obviously long. 22 inches is quite long for a newborn. But weight-wise, I didn't think it was anything too massive. And then, he was only 8 pounds 4 ounces. I was shocked. And so when we went in for his 2-week checkup, he was at 7 pounds 14 ounces. And usually by 2 weeks, they've gained back to their birth weight, if not over their birth weight. So our pediatrician was concerned because I was exclusively breastfeeding at that time. So he had us start on formula, which we got that day and started using. And let me tell y'all, it was night and day difference. The next day after we had started using formula, it was amazing. Like, we got more sleep at night. I've realized that, those 2 weeks, he was hungry, poor little kid, poor little guy was just hungry for a lot of that time. And he didn't really know that's what he was, I don't think. And so wasn't giving us clues, and I would feed him, but he just wasn't getting enough. And so with supplementing, it just made a huge difference, because now he's like, oh, I'm hungry. And sometimes he still goes from 0 to 100 with hungry really quick. And so now he is doing great. No concerns about weight anymore. He'll have his 2-month checkup next week, which is crazy. It's been 2 months. And he did have a tongue tie. And he has a slight lip tie, we found out today. But he had a tongue tie, and it was a very thick, far back tongue tie. So I guess some tongue ties can be thinner and more forward, and some can be further back and thicker. And he had that further back and thicker one. And those ones tend to have blood vessels running through it. And so you can get a tongue tie reversal and a lip reversal. They usually either do it by snipping it with like a scissors, I guess, or with a laser. His pediatrician only does the snipping kind, but because his was thick and far back, didn't feel comfortable with that. So we had to go to another pediatrician who did it with a laser, which was a little intense. Jerone and I got to be in the room for that, and I wouldn't say heartbreaking, but it's just hard to be there, because obviously he's screaming and crying, and it's a laser, so it's cauterizing and burning, and you can see the smoke and all that kind of stuff. And so it wasn't very fun, but they don't do anesthesia for that or anything. But anyways, his tongue tie was probably a big reason as to why he wasn't gaining any weight. He wasn't taking in enough milk. I've seen a lactation consultant with him 3 or 4 times, which is good. If anybody's out there and they're going to be breastfeeding, take advantage of the lactation consultants. Go in. They are helpful. And, for Jerone and I didn't really have expectations for myself to breastfeed for forever. I only want to breastfeed, and that's what I want to do. More so, I just kind of have been like, whatever's best for him and whatever he needs. I didn't want to put that expectation on myself just because I'm a first-time mom. I don't know. Well, even for their kids, I probably wouldn't do the same, because I don't need that pressure. And so I just want him to be healthy and fed. And so they're great. And the lactation consultants I've been seeing, I'll agree with that. Absolutely 100%. They want the same thing, just a fed, healthy baby. And so when we went to see her, one of them, probably the first or second time, one of the things that he's great at latching, but his tongue doesn't stay where it needs to stay when he is sucking. So that probably played a part in him not getting enough food those 2 weeks. And having the tongue tie reversal is hopefully only going to help that. And I have felt like it has helped a little bit with his suction. So we'll go back to the lactation consultant probably one more time just to see if she notices a difference. But it's, been great. Otherwise, that was probably the first big decision Jerone and I felt like we had to make as parents for him. The pediatrician who has been doing lasering tongue ties and lip ties for the past 6 years, when we had our consultation with him, he said his type of tongue tie can lead to speech impediments later on. So Jerone and I just thought, let's just get it taken care of now. If it helps with breastfeeding, great. But, if we can offset any of those issues later on down the line for him, we obviously want to do that too. Oh, I know. He makes great noises all night long and during his naps. Sounds like a little dinosaur, of course. He has been social smiling since 5 weeks, which just, that makes the sleepless nights a lot better. He does still get up in the night. He's only 7 weeks. So he gets up probably 2 or 3 times. It's been pretty consistent with the times that he gets up. And then, takes a couple naps during the day and whatnot. But he's starting to engage more and holding our eyesight and looking around and actually like looking at something, and you can tell he's processing it. So he's noticed Piper since he was little, born, I guess. But today he like looked at Piper, and I could tell he was like looking at her and evaluating and assessing her and stuff, which is pretty cool. And that's definitely one of the fun things about parenting. So I'm home with Henry all day. Jerone has been work from home as well, which is nice, but he's obviously working from his office, so he doesn't get to spend as much time with Henry. So it's just been him and I for a good portion of it. But it's been fun to see like him change like that, and I'm so excited to see. He'll probably start laughing soon, and he started drooling and eating his hands this past week, which partly probably from his tongue tie reversal, but then also they can show signs of teething starting now. So it's just crazy. I'm like, teething already? We won't see teeth probably for several months, but it's just kind of crazy to think about. So it's pretty great though. And I feel like he's already so much bigger than, of course, when we brought him home. He did just size out of newborn diapers and newborn clothing, and not really even out of newborn diapers. He could still be in them, but we ran out, and he fits into ones pretty okay, so we just started using ones. We are going to cloth diaper with him, but when we've tried cloth diapers the last couple of weeks, his legs are too skinny for them, so they have leaks. So we have to wait till he fattens up a little bit more, which will just come with time since he's now getting enough food and things like that. So he was 10 pounds, 8 ounces last Thursday. So he's definitely getting there, but his length combats some of his, what would be fatness and rolls and things. So we'll get there soon, I think in the next couple weeks, though, where we can just use cloth diapers and go from there. But yeah, it's been pretty great. Are you going to wake up soon? He's got really pretty big brown eyes, and he has been awake, very alert since birth for sure. Like they put him on my chest, and he didn't sleep probably for the next 2 hours, and he just kind of had his big brown eyes kind of looking at everything. So he's awake several hours during the day, which is fun, but I don't, he should take naps too, maybe. No, but it's been great. So, like I said, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I do post pictures on there, sometimes more Instagram than Facebook, I would say. So give me a follow if you want to see more pictures of him and things like that. We miss you all. We love you guys and hope you guys are staying safe. And hopefully Henry can meet a lot of you guys soon. We'll talk to you guys later.